that still shake the human heart today. Who was Maulana Jalaluddin Rumi, a poet, a mystic, a philosopher, or the greatest ambassador of love. Today we endowment of a spiritual movement that influenced both the East and West. His masterpiece, the Masnavi, is often referred to as the Quran of mystical wisdom in Persian language. I am Kunan Kumar Hirani from Sufi Vibes. Today we will talk on Maulana Jalaluddin Rumi, and we have Mr. Professor Noor Ahmed Janjhi. Assalamu alaikum, sir.
Walaikum assalam.
Sir, where was Maulana Jalaluddin Rumi born?
Maulana Jalaluddin Rumi, for whose Masnavi, Maulana Abdurrahman Jami has rightly said that Masnavi, Maulvi, Manavi, Hast Quran, Darzaba, Pahlavi. Maulana Jalaluddin Rumi, son of Bahauddin Walad, was a great scholar, mystic, and with a great wisdom, knowledge, philosophical and psychological dimensions. He was born at Balakh or Vaksh, where his father is served as a theologian, as a teacher in madrasa. His father's name was Bahauddin Walad. Walad was their surname, and that was Walad's family. Maulana Rumi was born in 1207.
What was the scholarly background of his family?
His family was a traditional religious family, and his father had taught there in the madrasa as a religious scholar, and he served even with the government of that time.
What was Rumi like as a child?
Rumi was a very enthusiastic child of Momina Khatun and Bahauddin Walad, and he was keen on acquiring knowledge. He was keen on making questions and probing. So he was a very zealous or enthusiastic child.
How did the political circumstance of his time influence his life?
The political circumstances, there was an upheaval and schism there in the society, and Mongols were attacking those areas, so there was very huge hue and cry there, and it was a very great disturbance time in that area.
Why did his family migration from Balakh begin?
His family migrated from Balakh because his father, Bahauddin Walad, developed a dispute with the Qazi of Balakh.
In which fields of knowledge did Rumi receive his early education?
Rumi received his early education in the fields of traditional Quran, Islamic jurisprudence, logic, philosophy, and some other disciplines too. Firstly, he was taught by his father, and after that, he received education from his father's disciple, Hazrat Bahauddin Muhakkik, and in meantime, he has been at the Aleppo and Damascus for his education. However, he completed his education with Hazrat Bahauddin Muhakkik, his father's disciple.
How did he become known as a religious scholar?
He was a traditional scholar, and they moved from Balakh and went away to different cities. And firstly, they went to Samarkand. Then again, Khwazam Shah attacked there in 1202, and then they left for Khurasan. They went to Baghdad, Makkah, then Damascus and Malaya, and then Akshar, and Then Mongols took siege of Balakh in 1221, and Walads stayed in Laranda for 7 years. And Maulana Rumi also did marriage there to the Gohar Khatum. And Maulana Rumi was a just religious scholar who has taken over the madrasa of his father after the death of his father Sultan Walad.
When did his spiritual quest become prominent?
His spiritual quest began when Shams comes there, Shams Tabriz, and Shams Tabriz came there. It was a story that one day Rumi was teaching to his students, and the fakir Shams Tabriz came there and he pointed out to the book and asked that Maulana insist that Maulana, what is this? Maulana said that fakire ikalastu namidani. The fakir, that is the story, you cannot know it. You don't know it. And fakir went away. After some days, again fakir returned there, and Maulana was left away, and the students all have gone to their lunch, to their homes. So he took all the books and manuscripts from cupboards, and he threw it into water tank. And it was seen by a student who was returning back from home. So all the students gathered there and they caught the Shams Tabriz. They also called Maulana Rumi, and Rumi came there with. He was very much angered on that incident because there was loss of many books. Those books were very much costly and they were handwritten manuscripts. So he asked Shams Tabriz that, Fakire, what is this? So Shams Tabriz took one book from water tank, and as he dusted, there came the dust out of the book. And that wondered Rumi that how dust is coming out of the book that was dipped into the water. So Rumi asked him, Fakir, inchis. The Fakir, what is this? Then Fakir Shams Tabriz said that Maulana, in halastu namidan. This is state of our fakirs. You cannot know it. You don't know it. So in this way, and then Rumi became disciple and follower of Shams Tabriz. And after Shams Tabriz, he became Maulai Rum. And Shams arrived in Konya in 1244. In that year, Rumi was transformed from just formal religious scholar to a great Maulai Rum. He himself has said that Maulvi hargiz nashud Maulai Rum, Maulvi hargiz nashud Maulai Rum, ta gulam Shams Tabrizi nashud. If Maulvi would have not been in service of Shams Tabriz, he would not have been Maulai Rum at all. So it was because of that Shams Tabriz, so he became Maulai Rum. That is the turning point in Rumi's life.
What role did his teacher play in shaping his personality?
His teachers has remained not only one, but his father, Hazrat Bahauddin Walad, and Bahauddin Muhakkik, and some teachers from Damascus and Aleppo. And he was enlightened by Shams Tabriz. It is a different story. So his persona was shaped by Shams Tabriz ultimately, who took him towards the understanding of reality, understanding of realization and mystical dimensions. So Rumi became Maulai Rum from a just religious scholar.
What is the difference between knowledge and spiritual wisdom according to Rumi?
Rumi differentiates between knowledge and spiritual wisdom. He says that knowledge or information is just like structure or body, while the spiritual knowledge or wisdom is just like spirit or soul. So these are the two different things, and Rumi focuses on the later one.
Who was Shams Tabrizi?
Shams Tabriz was ascetic, and when he arrived in Konya, he was 60 years old, and he stayed there, and he stayed with Rumi in privacy. So people said it that why they are both in privacy and doing meetings in camera. However, Rumi says that he is my teacher, he is my mentor, and we are here. We will be there together, and so don't do such type of things.
What traditions and story exist about the first meeting between Rumi and Shams?
As I told in the starting of these questions, that first story was that meeting of Rumi and Shams on the book reading when he was teaching his students and Rumi that Maulana increased. And the second part of that meeting was at the water tank where the dust was coming out from the book that was dipped into water. And Maulana asked Shams Tabriz, Fakir increased. Then that was the first meeting in two parts.
How did this encounter transform Rumi?
This encounter transformed Rumi in a spiritual mentor who himself focused on the practice and vision leading towards reality. And however, he had been a great knowledge of religious scriptures, books, and hadith, all of those things. However, he focused that though these books are very much important, yet the knowledge or path towards reality is beyond to them. And he says that Sadhu Kitabo Sadhu Varak Darnar Kun Rokhe Dil Rajan Be Yar Kun. Hundreds of books and hundreds of leaves you may burn out, and do your face towards your beloved, and you will have that knowledge.
How should we understand the relationship between Rumi and Shams?
We can understand it as a mentor and mentee, as a spiritual student and a spiritual master. And it was just understanding or inspiration. It was not by teaching. Their relationship emerged spontaneously, and it was not a negotiated relation. So it was just inspirational relationship between the two people. They would have been taught without words. They would have been behave with each other without any gestures, and they would have been understood in the same way.
What impact did Shams' disappearance have on Rumi?
Rumi, when Shams Tabriz disappeared for first time, he disappeared Shams quit Konya first time and he went to Syria in 1246. After the meeting with Rumi, after 2 years, he disappeared. Then again, Rumi became whimsical and mad, and he sent his son to take back to the Shams. So Shams came back again. People objected the appearance or tenants or presence of the Shams Tabriz. Then, for second time, Shams disappeared forever in 1247 or 48. It is said that he was killed away by one son of Rumi. So these are the stories. And Rumi became very much mad and whimsical. Then Rumi became restless, and he was wandering in the street. One day was passing through a street where Goldsmith's shop was opened, and Goldsmith was hammering the silver sheets, and those silver sheets were made very much harmonical or melodious voice. And Rumi turned into dance, and he became viral, and he started dance. So people were very much amazed that Maulvi is being dancing there. So as Goldsmith saw Maulvi, he tried to stop him from dancing. However, Rumi asked him not to do it and let him go to the dance. Let him do the dance, and he remained in the dance. And for that person, Rumi himself has said that yake ganje padid azin dukan zar ko bhi, yake ganje padid azin dukan zar ko bhi, zahe surat zahe mani zahe khubi. So it was the shop of Goldsmith, and his name was Salahuddin Zarko. So Rumi says that I have found a treasure trove in the shop of Goldsmith. How he was beautiful, how he was spiritual, and how he was very much good in morals and characters. So he became associated with that Zarko, and it remained for 9 years. And then Zarko again passed away, and it again despaired Maulana Rumi, and he became very much whimsical and mad. And in that situation, a situation developed, and he Samuddin Jalpi, and he started Masnavi. And before that Masnavi, he has written Diwan Shams. It was a love story or love poetry, love composition, focusing on Shams Tabriz. And then he started Masnavi, means two-line poem. So he composed, and Husamuddin had been documented it. So in this way, first daftar was written away, and first daftar starts with these lines: "Bashanu azne chon hikayat mein kunar." That flute is telling the story of pain. Was judai ya shikayat mein kunar, and that flute is complaining because of separation. The flute has been separated from the tree, from the wood, and in that way it tells the story of pain and separation. And then after some time, Husamuddin Chalpi went away into his village as his wife became first ill, and then she passed away. So Husamuddin remained there for a time, and Rumi stopped Masnavi composing. So as Husamuddin messaged Rumi that, "Sir, are you composing Masnavi?" Rumi replied that, "You have taken that Masnavi towards the climax. As you would be returned, then it will be started again." And then Husamuddin came there, and he restarted Masnavi, and second daftar, third daftar, fourth daftar, fifth daftar, and sixth daftar. All the 5 daftars start with the name of Husamuddin. And In second daftar he says, Muddate-i masnavi ta'khir shud. Muddate-i masnavi ta'khir shud. Mohlate bayas ta'khun shir shud. Okay, this masnavi has been late before for a long time because blood needs time to be turned into milk, and then all the four daftars remaining were also are started with the name of Samadhi.
Why is the Masnavi considered such an important work?
Masnavi and both the Masnavi and Diwan and Shams are two different treatises. However, Rumi have written prose also. There are 3 books on his credit, and those are Fima Fi, Makatib, and Majaz Sabar. And these 2 books of poetry, Diwan Shams Tabriz and then Masnavi. Diwan Shams Tabriz has a different scope and different reflections and dimensions. Masnavi is different. So I would like to shed light on Masnavi. If we are saying Masnavi, so Masnavi is a great treasure trove of knowledge, wisdom, philosophy, psychology, and in such way. It is spiritual and mystical guidance. Because whatsoever Rumi has had or has achieved during his love and association with Shams Tabriz, with Salahuddin Zarqub, and with Husamuddin, he was longing for them. He was longing for their love, and after that, as he matured his thought, he composed Masnavi. So Masnavi can be says that it is a vast spiritual encyclopedia in shape of storytelling, philosophy, psychology, and mystical wisdom to guide humanity towards self-knowledge, divine love, and union with the Creator. It uses stories and parables. It emphasizes on divine love and imagination of Quranic and prophetic teachings are containing into it and universal human message. It uses symbolism and allegory. It also reflects psychological thought, and it is critic of ego, and it is in conversational form and dynamic style, and also Masnavi has educational purpose. Masnavi is in shape of stories, but those stories are in continuity from first to the last. As first story starts with the complaining of pain by flute, and the 6th daftar or 6th volume ends with those lines that this Masnavi is a story of pain and agony. It is not ended. It is continued. Anyone who will have passed through that pain and separation, he will take it from here. So it continues in this way. And Masnavi Rumi, you can say that Diwan Shams Tabriz is dynamic expression of feelings of Maulana Rumi. And Masnavi is overall teachings and overall experience and observance of Maulana Rumi's not only knowledge but his feelings and his experience with mystical thought. And now I would like to say a few lines about Diwan Shams. Diwan Shams Tabriz is ecstatic, divine record of divine love. In that, Rumi is very much spontaneous, and he expresses spiritual longing, and he longs for mystical union. It is poetry of divine love. Diwan Shams Tabriz. It is ecstatic and trance-like style. When anyone feels whimsical, when anyone feels like mad person, it is an expression of separation and longing. Sufi mysticism, a rich variety of poetic forms. It uses symbolism and imagery. Uh, it also has a universal human appeal, and it has multilingual character, and it is contrast with the Masnavi, because Diwan Shams Tabriz is just feeling about the divine love, and Masnavi Maulana Rumi is the teaching and experience of all of that experience of love.
How does Rumi defines love in his poetry?
Maulana Rumi, if we are saying that he focuses on love. Love is his first and foremost theme in throughout poetry. He says, "Ishq amado shud jo khoonam andar rag post takard amrit takard muratahi pur kard dost." That love is circulating into my veins. Love is circulating into my veins, and it has emptied me, and it has made me my beloved. आशिकी पैदास्त अज़ारी दिल नेस्त बीमारी चु बीमारी दिल. That love is emerges, starts from the restlessness of the heart, and restlessness of the heart or illness of the heart is such type of disease that no disease can excel the disease of heart.
What significance do music and dance hold in his teachings?
Maulana Rumi focused on music, focused on dance, and after his death, his son Sultan Walad started, Sultan Walad and some other disciples started sect of Maulvis and those viraling saints or fakirs. So Maulana Rumi thought that music also shakes the soul. Music also tries to touch the very core of the soul, and dance is the expression of that soul's feeling. So he focused on two of the things.
Why does Rumi frequently use stories and parables?
Rumi used stories and parables because people love it. People love stories. People are interested in stories. People are not interested in factual things and realities. Rumi tried to impart knowledge about reality, knowledge about the journey of the reality in shape of story. So as everyone, every common people, man in the street can understand that.
What is the true nature of human being according to Rumi?
Rumi says that human nature is very much pure in its per se. However, when we interact and human interact among themselves, and they develop greed, ambition, and such negative things, they divert them from the right path, and that is the trial and examination of man. So man's very nature is very much good in its nature. However, by his actions, he becomes whatsoever he does his actions.
What were Rumi's view on the soul and the ego?
Rumi has been remained critic with the ego, and Rumi loves the soul. Rumi says that there are two types of behaviors, and behavior of the ego is behavior of the nafs, and he connects ego with the bear, wild bears, and such huge animals. He says that train your animal, don't nurse your animal, train so as it may support or may be compatible to your. If you will not focus on your soul, you will lose the concentration on soul, and your body or your ego and that wild bear will be very much uncontrollable.
How does Rumi connect love with worship?
Rumi says that love is the very sense of life. Love with God, love with Creator, love with people, and love with whole entire environment. It also enables us to perform prayers fairly and inspired.
What do his teachings say about tolerance and acceptance?
He focused on tolerance and acceptance, equality and equity in the world, and he invites people from every walk of life, even common people, that he was of the view that everyone or anyone can be near to the God, and by that love they can reach to their climax and to their destination successfully.
According to Rumi, what is the path to God?
According to the Rumi, path to God is path of love. However, that path may be very much hard and full of difficulties, yet that is the only path. And through that path, you can go or reach to your destination. Rumi Sahib says that दिल बदस्त आवर कहते अकबर अस्त अज हजारा काबा यक दिल बेहतर अस्त काबा बनिगाह खलील आजर अस्त दिल गुजर गाह जलील अकबर अस्त. In same way, there are many couplets reflecting that path of love is the path of God, path leading towards God.
Why is Rumi so popular in the West today?
Rumi is very much popular in the West because when it was translated, and it was translated by R.A. Nicholson, A.J. Arbery, Winfield, and other scholars, Rumi became a very much popular in the West because of his reflections on wisdom, because of his reflections on philosophy, on psychology, on geography, and on logic, and connectivity of all of these thoughts, and connectivity of spiritual domain with the mundane domain.
What can the younger generation learn from Rumi?
A younger generation can learn from Rumi's poetry about the change, because younger generation in this world or in today's society, they are in majority, and they have to play a great and active role in the world. They can learn from Rumi the dynamic change, as Rumi has said that देरोज दाना बूदम ख्वास्तम जहारा तगय्युर दहन इमरोज आकल शुदम खुदरा तगय्युर में दहन. Yesterday I was trying to change the world, and today I have been changing myself. So for change, one should firstly change himself or herself. And then she says that Zakham ast ke noor az award meshwar. The cut is the place from where the light emerges or light comes into that aperture. So Rumi teaches youngers that firstly change yourself, and then try to bring the change. But before bringing change, you must open your heart and mind like that aperture, so as light may come into your heart and mind.
Why is Rumi's message still relevant in the age of social media?
because Rumi focuses on human life and human behavior in that vast context of world and universe. So his message is very much relevant, and he focuses on love, he focuses on separation, he focuses on pain and agony, and by those things, man can realize others' difficulties, so people can be together just like a fraternity. That is the message of Rumi in this contemporary world.
What impact has Rumi's thought had on Pakistan and South Asia?
Rumi's poetry has been remained very much popular in Pakistan, Sindh, and in Asia. And poets of Sindhi, Urdu, and even Persian language has composed verses by adopting the same thought. And Shah Abdul Latif Bhitai has mentioned his name in 6 of his couplets. तालब कसर सूं असर ये रूमी दी रिहान तालब कसर सूं असर ये रूमी दी ओताक तालब कसर सूं असर ये रूमी दी रूह. In this way, and other poets also has mentioned Rumi, and even Allama Iqbal has called him Murshid Rumi, and he has versified many poems mentioning Rumi.
If Rumi were alive today, what message would he give to humanity?
Rumi would have given the message that whatsoever you are seeking outwardly and externally, it is present among yourselves. So, try to search and seek there and become a light, become a candle, so as you may give light to the other people. Rumi says that Berun is a tu nest harch dar alam hast dar khud betalab har aanch khwahi ke tu hi. Whatsoever you are seeking and searching externally and outwardly, it is present among yourselves. So become a candle. To shamma bash ke al sohtan natar dil. Become a candle, because the burning thing tries to give light to the others. So become like candle, you become and give light to the others. That is the great message of Rumi for this contemporary world.
If you had to summarize Rumi's entire philosophy in single sentence, what would the sentence be?
That sentence would be that Rumi focuses on love. Rumi says that observe love, think of love, do love, have love, and had love, and would have love. So everything for sake of love, and that love for sake of the Creator, you can make this whole world as a cradle of love.
Thank you very much, Sir Noor Ahmed Janjhi. Rumi taught us that the true journey of human being is not in the outer world, but within. If you enjoyed this conversation, please subscribe to Sufi Vibes by N.A. Janjhi and share your thoughts in the comment. Thank you very much, all of our friends.